Well, we certainly are maxing out the center of the pitch today. Let's check it out and see what I mean. This one is called Maxed Out 4-1-2-1-2, basically saying today we're going to go over the best maxed out 4-1-2-1-2 tactic. This Football Manager setup is perfect for any save where you want to play with underdog teams and score many goals. So, unfortunately, not a lot of underdog teams in our setup, but we're going to test it out with our three teams of Liverpool and Aston Villa in the Premier League and our championship side of Ipswich Town. Now, it has been tested a couple different times. Some have done very well, others not so much. But let's jump into the Premier League and see how our teams did. Well, both teams in our Premier League table sitting in the Champions League spot, so I can't fault that, but both are kind of on the more average points. 102 goals, though, is very nice for Liverpool. So we are going to start with them, and their domestic cup run looks very, very nice indeed. They get through Aston Villa in the Carabao Cup semi-finals, getting to the Carabao Cup final and beating Brighton 6-2. Wow. They get through Ipswich in the FA Cup semi-finals. They got there. That's pretty impressive. But get to the FA Cup final, beating Man City 2-0. And unfortunately, not able to muster enough in the Europa League, getting only to the semi-finals and losing to Sporting. All in all, still, 2 domestic trophies is fairly nice. Semi-finals of the Europa League, second place in the Premier League. It's not bad. And squad-wise, about average sea of green there. I mean, it's still pretty nice to look, though. But 33 goals for Nunez, 32 for Salah, 23 for Jota, assists 24 for Robertson, and 15 for Szoboszlai. Average rating Nunez with a 7.49, though. Switching it up to Aston Villa side, though, we already saw them out in the Carabao Cup semi-finals. They get to the FA Cup 5th round against Manchester United and lose 1-2. But the reverse of Liverpool, they get to the Conference League final, beating Fiorentina 5-0. Now that's a thrashing. So overall, I mean, I would say it's about an average season. Semi-finals of the Carabao Cup, not bad. Winners of the Conference League is fantastic. 4th place, average. They do have some green, but again, not too much out of the ordinary. 25 goals for Diaby, Zaniolo with 18, assists 16 for Digne, 14 for Matty Cash and Tielemans apiece, and then average rating Digne with a 7.20. Data hub for the two teams. Last couple of tactics we've tried, the attacking side just has not mustered much at all. This time they are back to their norms and looking fantastic. This is Liverpool. Defensively, they look pretty nice themselves as well. 2.68 goals per game, 0.76 conceded, 0.93 XG against. Aston Villa looking better than previous tactics, at least. Unfortunately, the goals just aren't there. The shots per game, is not fully there, but defensively, yeah, that's looking a little worse than usual. Flat 2 goals per game, 1.29 conceded, 1.18 XG against is actually kind of a mixed bag. Premier League stats, Liverpool in second place with 2.26 points per game, Aston Villa in fourth with 1.95, so pretty much on the average mark. 1.95 maybe a little below, but most goals, first and third, 102 down to 76. Fewer shots against, Liverpool with 246, Aston Villa with 338. Most possession, 57% for Liverpool, Aston Villa with 55. Most dribbles made, 634 down to 621 for the two teams, and then most shots for Liverpool in first with 632, Villa with 550. But now this was made for teams that are kind of on the underdog side. Ipswich has to fare fairly well, right? Unfortunately, no. Their attacking powerhouse got them to 108 goals, best in the league. Unfortunately, it just didn't see them through the playoffs, getting only to 5th place in the table. That kind of hurts. And as you can see, Ipswich do get to the playoff final, but lose in penalties. 1-1. That is sad to see. They did very well, however, in the domestic cup run, out in the Carabao Cup quarterfinals 0-2 to Norwich, and we already saw them out in the FA Cup semi-finals 1-5 to Liverpool. So all in all, I mean, the domestic cups were their best side. The championship failed miserably. I mean, to a degree at least. Squad-wise, they've got some green that's probably a little bit above average, but not a whole lot. 35 goals for George Hurst, Connor Chaplin with 12, assists Leif Davis with 28, 10 for Harry Clark, an average rating Leif Davis, of course, with a 7.46. Championship stats, 1.71 points per game for Ipswich in 5th place. Wow, that's low. Most goals, though, in first with 116, and that is after the playoff push. Fewer shots against in 6th with 426. Most possession in 5th with 57%. Most dribbles made in 5th with 795, and most shots for in 2nd with 726. So let's dive in and take a look at the tactic itself. We start out with a sweeper keeper in support. fullbacks on the left and the right in attack, a ball-playing defender on the left in defend with a central defender in defend on the right, a DM in support above them, and above him, and a box-to-box in support next to an advanced playmaker in support, and then an attacking midfielder in support, and then 2 pressing forwards in attack. Attacking mentality, in possession attacking width is fairly wide, approach plays pass into space, overlap on the left and the right, and play out of defense. Passing directness is shorter, tempo is higher, low crosses, run at defense, and be more expressive. In transition, counter press, counter, distribute quickly, distribute to the center backs, and take short kicks. And out of possession, a high press line of engagement, a much higher defensive line, trigger press much more often, prevent your goalkeeper distribution, get stuck in, and step up more. So overall, how did it work for our 3 teams? Unfortunately, Ipswich seeing the brunt of the problems here. It didn't work all that well for them. I mean, they are a very attacking side. They got number 1 in the goals after the playoff push, even before the playoff push, 108 to 104. They did very well in that side. They just couldn't win the games and get the points up. 84 points up to 106 is kind of a monumental task. If you're that good, go for it. Check it out. But you may be able to get to Norwich, beat them in 4th place. But overall, that playoff final kind of killed it. That one penalty shootout just kind of didn't work for you. But Liverpool and Aston Villa, looking not bad. Kind of on the average mark. Definitely on the goals for Liverpool side. Villa could pick it up a little bit more, but they've got some trophies to come home with. So I can't say it didn't work at all. So definitely check it out if you're able to. If you have the players in positioning for it and you like that formation of just straight through the middle, that could work very well. So I think here it kind of shows that there's definitely some good positives to this one. So definitely take a look. And if you have, let us know how it worked for you in the comments below. But that's it for me, 7FM, for the Football Manager blog channel, saying thank you as always for watching. Take care and enjoy.